you got to realize that every time that you do something of importance, it's not going to look like how you think it's going to look like. It's not going to be important when it starts. It's going to be something that looks rinky-dinky. It's pathetic. You feel pathetic. It doesn't feel like you're actually doing anything, and yet you do it anyways. So I had this comment from somebody that they looked at the Reciprocity website. The E is written with a 3, and they looked at it and they're like, oh, this is terrible. Look at the design issues. You know, that's not the point. The point is, and yeah, you know what, it bothers me. It's your baby, right? The point is that I'm actually doing it. And when I see that, I'm like, okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that. First of all, that gives me a decision point in what to do next. I could look at it and I could say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll work on the design thing. Then after that, then I think, look at me. Look, I'm the only one that's out here actually doing this. And once you start realizing that, once you realize like, hey, wait a minute, you got to be the one that's out there doing that thing. And when you're doing that thing, it never looks great. Whenever you start with something, it looks as ugly as it possibly can, right? Like I'm out here. This is my way of actually marketing. I'm going for walks that I would normally do because I don't have time. I don't have the money. Do you know how expensive it is to pay for Facebook ads and YouTube ads and that kind of stuff? It's extremely expensive. So how do I figure out how to market this? I try to encourage you to do things that are scary. And then perhaps by watching this, you'll look at it and then you yourself will go do something. And then you'll say, hey, I actually did this thing. Maybe I went back to school. Maybe I changed my career. Maybe I started my own entrepreneurship thing, an entrepreneurial thing. And I did it. And it was because this kind of kooky guy that was walking his dogs was telling me to actually do this thing and not to be scared of doing this thing when it looks ugly. The whole thing, the whole process, right? I think people get so messed up and they think about, whatever you're building, it's supposed to look perfect right from the get-go, and it's supposed to look like everything is all neat and tidy. That's not what happens, right? The whole thing, the whole time, it's a mess. You know where things are broken. It's a wonder anything gets done. Because you know all of the things that are broken, you know what doesn't work, and you know that it's not what you think it is. But here's the thing that I think is really cool. The fact that I'm actually doing this is the way that and I got a runny nose, right? The fact that I'm doing this, I got a runny nose. I'm actually doing this every single day so that you could see this, that the fact that I'm doing this is not going to be that people are going to watch it. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be the fact that this is how I actually did it. And this becomes the personality of it. This becomes the thing because this is the only way you know how to do it. I'm not going to quit my job. Like one of the best opportunities I've ever had. I'm not going to quit that job to go do something entrepreneurial where, I have got a snowball's chance in hell of this thing actually working. Heck no. But can I get up and every time I go for a walk, can I, every time that before I go to bed, I leave a positive message, I encourage you, I do everything in my possible mind that I could do to get you to feel good about yourself. Heck yeah, I'm gonna do that. And in the end, if this whole thing implodes on itself, which, it's highly likely to do, and I've spent a whole great deal of money doing this thing and nobody uses it, that is my alternative. That's actually the thing that I'm hoping is going to happen. because I know that is the most likely scenario. The whole thing is going to collapse. And when you realize that, you come into it, you think, hell, what's the worst case scenario that's going to happen? I am going to be the guy on the internet that has his shit together, right? Like everything had it all together, right? Chemical engineer from the best school in Canada, a degree in business from the best school of Canada, one of the best schools in the world for both of those things. And I tried, and the whole thing fell apart. Isn't that a great story? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? And I realized, that I don't want that to happen, but I realized that is a quite possible scenario, but that's a story that I think everybody can resonate. And don't you think that would help a lot of people when they're going through things? Right? Like, think about this. The other thing that you might be thinking is, technology is changing so quick, and I don't know what to do because technology is changing so quick. Or aren't you worried about artificial intelligence? I actually think that those are opportunities to jump on it. If you simply just stop, and I think that's where we sort of think about things. We're thinking about things in perfection. You're thinking like, if we just stop, come on girls, if we just stop, because I don't have things together, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, I don't have all the things I need, I don't have the time, all those kind of things. If we just relax and we just stay that, and we say that, then ultimately nothing's going to happen. But if we say, wait a minute, I'm an idiot. I'm a bumbling idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. I am making this thing up, and I'm going to tip my toe into the water, and I'm just going to keep trying. I'm going to get up every day, pursue this, and I know it's going to be wrong. But if I did this, and I built on those opportunities as things go, don't you think you'd actually have something at the end of it? Don't you think it would matter? It would matter to you, and it would matter to your identity, and that would be amazing, right? Like, I think about this as, at what point do you actually stop? What point do I actually stop with this? I'm probably never going to stop. Why would I stop? That makes no sense, right? Like, this is a never-ending journey of building something, of doing something, and this is just one stepping stone towards this journey. So why would you stop? And why would you give up? You're giving up on life then at that point. You're thinking to yourself, like, it's all done. Why would you give up? I don't get it. So I'd encourage you to realize that even if you're like 80 years old, even if you're 85, you could do things. And you could really do things. Like, I'm not saying just even a little bit. I mean, even if you're that old and you create something in your home, and there's 5 other people that join this thing, isn't that pretty awesome? You did something, and I think you should be proud of it. And I realize those 5 other people are going to be bickering back and forth, and it's not going to work very well, and you're going to want to give up, and all of that kind of stuff. But so, like, what's the alternative? Not do it? Not do anything? I encourage you to go out, do things, change the world. Change the world. If I can sit here and sit at a screen, yell at a screen, and try to change science by building a software platform where I have no money for the damn thing, and the damn thing doesn't have the right design that everybody wants, and it's all falling apart, and I got no money for marketing. I got no money for anything, but here's the thing. I'm doing it anyways. Isn't that good enough? My damn neighbors are looking at me looking like I'm crazy. Isn't that good enough? Get out there and go do something.